tragic. And
how old were you when your dad?
I was born. Just when I was born, and then he actually was in Korea and working, and then so I would go to Korea as a very young child and spend a lot of time with him, and then he finally was able to come back to the United States. But I was not allowed to speak Korean. I was only able to speak English back to my parents, so my family would speak Korean to me, and I would speak English to them because they did not want me to be Korean. They wanted me to be American. And it was so traumatic, and I have a very good grasp of the language, but I have a lot of trouble speaking it because I'm so scared that my father's going to be taken from me if I speak Korean. It's very strange.
How old were you when your father came back?
I was probably about 5.
So it's almost like you're meeting a stranger.
So, in a sense, but I actually was going to Korea and spending time with him and then coming back, so it was very weird, though.
It seems your entire childhood bred a lot of confusion.
A lot of confusion.
Like, here, let us show you gay porn at 7 so we can explain to you the people in the neighborhood.
Yes.
So now you're looking at, like, businessmen in suits who are gay, and you just picture them having, like, sex.
Yes.
Like, it's super confusing. And then we're going to speak to you in Korean, but you can only speak back in English.
Yes.
No wonder you're a comic.
Yes.
Either that or you would have been a cutter.
Or something.
Or maybe both.
Maybe both. I'd have never gotten into that. That's good. That's cutting's really it's crazy.
It makes sense to me.
It does?
Does
Seems
that make
like
sense
it hurts.
to you?
Well,
Seems like it hurts.
I would be scared, though, because it hurts, and I don't like blood.
But it's the only time you feel something. If you're that numb to your surroundings, and then you cut yourself, and it's immediate, it's right there.
Yeah, I guess so, but then you just feel pain, though. Don't you? And it's a messy thing.
I think it's the feeling of anything when you feel that. I don't know, because I don't know any cutters.
Yeah. Well, I've never done it. I've only done it accidentally, because I'm a chef, so I've only done it like unwillingly.
What was your first tattoo?
My first tattoo was the big snakes and flowers on my stomach and back, and it was done by Don Ed Hardy, who is my good friend in San Francisco, who is very famous for making all of that tattoo clothing that people wear.
That's the guy? Mm-hmm. The Ed Hardy guy?
Yeah,
is the tattoo artist, Don Ed Hardy?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Did you know that? And this guy gets, like, taken to the cleaners. He's vilified for the Ed Hardy clothing line because of the douchebags that wear it.
Yes, with
he's
Christian
doing a fine enough job. You can't help the fact that there's a bunch of Persians walking around the Bellagio pushing each other, wearing Ed Hardy T-shirts.
Well, that sort of, like, was taken away from him, but he sued and he won $100 million. So that's, it's doing all right.
We got to win $100 million, Maddie.
Yeah.
Your head's not right, Maddie. We got to figure out a way to win $100 million. This working for a living is for the birds. $100 million.
So he
did. So your first tattoo, you went big.
Well, he's somebody that I grew up with, and somebody that was tattooing all the people that I was around, and that my father employed, and so tattooing was always going to be something that I was going to.
Your father employed Don Ed Hardy at a gay bookstore.
Well, no, Don Ed Hardy tattooed all the employees of my father. So, and Don Ed Hardy also sold books that he was publishing in the 70s, 80s, 90s called Tattoo Time and Modern Primitives, and so he sold those at the bookstore also. So that's how I know
This is the coolest childhood. I mean, minus, obviously, the confusion.
Yes.
But, like, I wish it's a little too cold for me, but I wish I grew up in San Francisco. Like, I grew up in Jersey, with just a bunch of Italians punching my face in every day. Mm-hmm. But, like, to grow up with, like, Koreans, an Italian restaurant next door, and it's a gay bookstore, and with comedy with Sam Rockwell at 14. I'll do that in a second. It's
pretty great.
I don't need to be on the wrestling team. I'm doing comedy with Sam Rockwell. Comedy and wrestling, by the way, not a good mix.
No.
Nah, it winds you. You get very winded quickly.
I'm sure.
So the snake and flowers.
Yes.
What is this something you had in your mind for a long time?
No. My Korean name is peony, which is Moran. So the peony flower is a great theme in my tattooing because it's my name and it's Korean. So Moran.
Teach me.
Moran. That's right.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So my name is Cho Moran because you say the last name first. So it's Cho Moran.
Cho Moran.
Yes.
Cho Moran.
Yes. Very good.
Hi. That's Japanese.
That's Japanese.
I know. The moment the H formed in my mouth, I went, don't, too late.
You did it. It was good.
Yeah, but it's not Korean.
It's Japanese.
So that's a big tattoo. I'm not asking you to see it, but that's you explained it across your stomach.
It's on my stomach and back. It's very, very large, actually.
So that's very brave.
Yes.
Or stupid.
Well, yes, both.
Do you still like it?
Yeah.
Well, then that's very brave.
Yeah. I liked it. I mean, it's all kind of stupid to get very big things, but then I have some dumb tattoos too that are really ridiculous that I like just as much as the ones that are really beautiful. So it's good.
Gary Goldman's got a great joke. He goes, tattoos are hard. Imagine 1984 never taking off your leg warmers. Like, if you don't like it, like, I'm never taking these off, and I'm just going to be a maniac, and I'm dancing like I don't care. So your Wikipedia page, it's all about like your tattoos. It almost does you a disservice because you're a great comic, you're an author, and now you have your clothing line, which we want to talk about. Explain it to us.
Well, I don't have it anymore.
Like I said, you used to have a clothing line. You can tell us about the demise of it and mix in some anecdotes.
Well, I never really, I did it a little bit, and then I was like, really, this is like too much work, and I didn't want to like do it.
What designers do you like?
I don't know. You know what? I really like lederhosen, which is like my dumb thing. Like I'm super obsessed.
I saw your Instagram photo of you in lederhosen.
I love lederhosen.
Kind of fucking hot.
Yeah, I'm wearing some now. I love lederhosen. I mean, I have like 50 pairs of them.
I've only seen Rufus Wainwright and you in lederhosen.
Yeah, I really like them. I really like them. Yeah, he looks good in them too.
Yeah, he does. I'm going to pick Margaret Cho over Rufus Wainwright. And that's rare. Rufus is my go-to.
I love Rufus.
I'm not gay, but I'm on the waiting list.
Isn't he gorgeous?
Rufus is first up.
He's lovely.
Yeah, that you could do worse.
I toured with him and I stole his Nutella every day. He has
really?
On his rider, he has a jar of Nutella, a new one. He never opened it.
Wait, you toured with Rufus Wainwright and we're getting into this 45 minutes into the podcast?
Yeah.
You sneaky son of a bitch. So what, he just found you? How did you guys meet?
No, I was a part of the True Colors tour, which is a very, very big tour. So it was Rufus and Joan Jett sometimes and...
she loves rock and roll.
Tegan and Sarah. Yeah, really great. She's great. Cyndi Lauper's. It's Cyndi Lauper's tour, the True Colors tour. So it was Debbie Harry and Cyndi Lauper, and then they would have different.
You know what's
bands.
amazing of the True Colors? It's Cyndi Lauper's tour, and out of the whole crew, Cyndi Lauper's the one I think everybody wants to see the least, from my point of view.
Yeah.
And when you meet Cyndi Lauper and talk to her, you're talking to a very aggravated Long Island housewife. It's like, what, you're on like a soap opera or something? You're like, this is True Colors? This is the one? I used to cry to this song.
Oh, she's a beautiful singer, though. She's
great
really
singer,
beautiful.
great songwriter.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'll take Joan Jett every day to
Joan Jett's great.
Fuck
Joan Jett's great.
She
rock
covered
and roll.
Crimson and Clover.
Yeah.
And Little Drummer Boy.
Yeah.
That's balls.
And just a great lady.
Do you think, really?
Mm-hmm.
I like
really
to
hot.
know that.
Really sweet.
And does she live in San Francisco or LA?
Joan Jett is in New York. She one time asked me out when I was like maybe 25 or something, and then I saw her not that long ago, and she had no interest. So I think I've gotten too old.
The Joan Jett window closed.
Closed, slammed hard.
And she's got that weird tattoo in the middle of her chest that would only work on somebody with absolutely no breasts whatsoever. It's something that goes like across like her
it's
rib
very
cage,
sexy.
right?
Yeah, she's
what
very
is that
sexy.
tattoo?
I'm not sure.
How did The Runaways fail as a movie?
I don't know. It's a great movie, though.
But you're being kind. It's pretty good.
I think it's great. The guy that plays Kim Fowley is amazing.
He is great.
He's really great.
But if you're going to do a movie about the Runaways, it's such an incredible story.
It is.
Is that like a studio ruining it for everybody? Because you just figure like if the right independent people got a hold of the Runaway story, like they were actually 16-year-old. They were fucking runaways.
I know.
And they were like cranking it out, and they were like girl Ramones.
Right. And I think maybe
One, two,
the thing,
three, four.
They're so cool, but maybe because the actresses in the movie didn't actually play and sing, maybe that's what it was.
Dakota Fanning ruined it.
And maybe. Or
Nobody
Kristen
wants
Stewart.
to see Dakota Fanning. Yeah, Kristen Stewart. She always looks like she just smelled a fart or just farted. She doesn't seem like she's having a good time, does she?
I don't know. She's pretty. They're both pretty.
I didn't ask you if she's pretty. I asked you, does she look like she's having a good time?
No, she doesn't.
Ever.
She doesn't look like she's having a good time.
I call that the Fiona Apple syndrome, and I'll explain it to you very quickly because I want you to do most of the talking.
Okay.
Too late. Fiona Apple, when she was red hot and had that amazing album and that amazing sexy video, always angry.
Yeah.
Accepted an MTV award and said, awards are bullshit. This is all bullshit. Your mind's an illusion. Then gone for a decade. Now she's on the comeback trail and she's hoofing it. She's playing like the Canyon Club, like sweating out tickets. And you go, you know what? Maybe you should have had a better time.
Well, she's great, though. She really is talented.
I think
she's really incredible.
Incredibly talented. But I just think people like Kristen Stewart, it seems to me, Kristen Stewart and like Joan Jett, having a blast.
Yeah.
Always having a good time.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper, not really having that good of a time.
Right.
It just seems like when you get to that level, when you're doing all I need is a good defense and you're cranking out that great song and you're selling out arenas, have fun. There's really, you would think the cachet of being the emo mood, she's not emo at all, but the moody, like Tom York of Radiohead, like, shut up. We never wanted to be famous. Really? Because that's why we all got into this, so we could do it to our friends in the garage for the next 40 years.
Right.
I don't know. The whole, we never, Kurt Cobain, bro, I read the diaries. You wanted to be famous.
Right.
Have a better time. So another lesson to the kids out there, if you get into show business, just have fun.
Have fun. But then people like that, they're asking too much of them. Maybe that's what it is that they're just being asked too much. Like Kurt Cobain, maybe somebody asked too much from him.
Well, that's what heroin's for. You nod out, and nobody can really ask you to do anything.
Yeah.
And you isolate. So I just think they should have a better time.
I know they should. But Fiona does have she knows how to have a very good time. She does. She's really fun.
Now. But back then, very angry.
I didn't know her then, but now she's a lovely, fun person.
Well, I'd love to see your Rolodex.
Oh.
You probably got the coolest celebrity phone people in your phone of all time.
I'm the kind of person that loses my phone all the time, though, and then I don't transfer the numbers or I change my phone, and so I always lose everything. So
you should keep handing a phone to an assistant and say, no matter what happens, back this up. Who's the most famous person in your phone right now?
In my phone?
You can't say me.
It used to be John Woo and Chow Yun-fat and all those Hong Kong guys I used to have, but I don't have that phone anymore.
You lost that phone. Yeah. You've always really been adored by the super elite of show business. I'm being serious.
That's nice, yes.
No, I mean, that's a fact. You've always, I don't ever get, directors and writers coming to my shows. It's guys that change parts on cars for a living. I get the guy that owns the gay bookshop on Polk Street. I would have been your dad's favorite comic.
That's my dad, yes. Absolutely.
All right, so you decided to eschew designing clothing.
Yeah.
Because it was too hard.
It was too hard, and then I was also making stuff. I'm not a good designer, but I'm a good seamstress, so I can I'm a weird kind of seamstress person. I can actually make a Nike shoe. I can actually be my own sweatshop. I could actually see how to construct it. I could actually make it. So I'm really, really good at altering clothes and everything like that, but I'm not very good at drawing something and then designing it and taking it to actually make it.
Yeah, when I used to watch Project Runway, it's that to me was the whole hiccup to being a designer, was having to draw it. Mm-hmm. Even Andy Warhol had to draw shoes, and you see him, he drew these really neat, cool.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Even the way he drew shoes shoes differently.
Yes.
But I can't, I'm a stick figure drawer. I can't draw anything.
Yeah, I can't draw anything. But I could actually figure out how to make something from the way that it's worn on a person's body. I can see how to take it apart and put it back together in a better way, maybe too.
That's super. It's interesting that your brain works that way, that you can visually apply something to a tactile experience without the intermediate writing.
So I can take it to just 1 dimension, 2 dimension to 3 dimension, but I can't actually draw it out, so that's the thing. I can't imagine it, but I can create
I think that speaks to intelligence too. In school, and they're show all work, and you're I just came to the answer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why you want me to show you the drawing of the gown I just put on Shirley MacLaine, for crying out loud. Called it back. You brought her up earlier. Do you play guitar?
I do.
Well?
I would play better if I practiced more.
That really is the key to enjoying playing guitar well.
Practicing. And if I performed with it more, and then if I didn't, I get so angry at myself for making performance mistakes as a musician, I would do better.
Your songs on stage, there's a track, and you ask for the track to come in. How do you ever just want to go out? Why don't you just, take 6 months and do nothing but practice those songs and go out and just kick the shit out of it live?
Yeah. Well, there's something that happens
too hard.
There's something
that too.
Well, it's very hard to actually make yourself do things that you're just afraid of doing. And then performing music is very scary to me, because I was just studied piano when I was a kid, and I did a lot of rehearsals, sort of recitals that were really terrifying, and those are my first performance experiences as a musician, and I never really liked it. And there's something that when you go behind an instrument, or there's an expectation of excellence that when you bring that as a performer, and I feel very intimidated by that.
It seems it's also a place to hide.
It is.
You get to hide behind the piano.
It is. It's true.
And if you make a mistake, you can mug and make a goofy face. Right. Or stand-up comedy, you're bare naked. You're raw. You're out there. Have you ever played guitar dressed as Raggedy Ann?
No, I haven't done that.
Maybe that's
the key.
The next special. Not so Raggedy Ann.
Not so raggedy.
Doing fine, Ann. That is so creepy that those guys would hit on you. So you were Raggedy Ann at FAO Schwartz.
Yeah.
Next job after that?
Next job after that, I did phone sex for a while.
Come on.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing a guy asked you to do on phone sex?
It was weird because this was like really early, like late 80s, early 90s. So I was doing recorded phone sex monologue.